Peace, y'all. What is good? Ephraim here. I'm back on the channel. Thank you to everybody that's been tapping in, that's been subscribing to me and my channel, sharing my energy and my words with y'all, man. I'm extremely grateful for that. And today I literally put on the side of the road. It's this beautiful sunset downtown, ATL. I really just wanted to talk to y'all real quick because I've returned. I've still been, getting myself back to health, and I've been slowly but surely recovering as I needed to, because I've really had to take this moment again for rest. And I know we've been talking about the in-between spaces and stages, the liminal space. But it's like now this man continuing to really live out and embody the words and the things that we talk about, right? The lessons. I feel like that's the real beauty. And it's just so wild, so crazy to me that, like, as I was going through the process, I had a few things in mind to where, like, I'm just pushing myself day to day. I'm getting to the gym. I'm about to get to the Muay Thai gym. And I know I shared with y'all last time with that whole situation, even how that resolved is mad funny, because it really, honestly, it resolved itself, more or less. And it started with me just showing up and being accountable. And I think that's often the biggest thing, like I've talked about for myself and even shared with others. Just showing up is really the first step, and probably the most important, honestly, because as long as we're here, as long as we're not giving up in our process, that's what's gonna get us to where we need to go, because we know it's a marathon, it's not a race. And it's so easy, for me it has been so easy to place an immense amount of expectation and unnecessary pressure where we get into, like, talking about worry and fear and doubt. So much of being able to let go and detach from that has just come from a level of contentment and gratitude, right? And I believe I want to make sure I'm saying that right. Contentment, not contentment. I'm pretty sure of not being complacent, but being content and being grateful for the everyday pleasures in life, man. Like, I got to go back to the juice spot again. Yo, shout out, the vitamin lady in Atlanta and the vitamin herb shop down here. Shout out them, because clearing out all this mucus and whatever, I don't know, little viral pathogens that's been trying to enter my body, or even just, I don't know, the stress, the mucus, whatever. Having things like nourishing foods and, like, fruits that can really help me, it makes such a world of a difference, because otherwise it's like I'm over here suffering. And sometimes I have to take accountability for, like, sometimes I be having that urge, man, and I'm learning more about, like, my mind and, like, how it works, and how I can be moved by, like, not as much being impulsive but being compulsive. And so sometimes I really just have the urge, and, like, how we have cravings, like, let me just go get some junk food, like, let me just go buy some vegan pizza right now. And even some of the ingredients and stuff is just, like, it's not the best. That's all I can say. Like, it's not the best, but especially when you're talking about, like, the cold and winter seasons, because certain ingredients produce a lot of mucus in the body, and also just leads to, like, inflammation. And if people like Dr. Sebi and many others who just talk about holistically, inflammation is the root of all disease. So if I'm eating, like, inflammatory foods, instead of sticking to, like, the things that I know that's great for me, like berries, teas, herbs, all being like anti-inflammatory, having my alkaline water. That's like a part of the routine. But oftentimes I find myself attracted to the novelty and like wanting to break out of my routine. And this is to the point of where I know I'm at a place in my life where I do not wish to fight myself. I do not wish to ruin or sabotage my success. And it's just funny that sometimes some of the things that we've done the longest, that we've done the most, that we're most consistent with, can actually be the things that are hindering our growth and our progress. So being able to make the change and being willing really takes a level of detachment, a level of letting go of, even we talk about emotions and communication, like, oh, you know what, maybe I don't need to respond this way again. Like, I know I've always done this in the past, but let me do this differently and let me focus on the outcome that I really want. And with that, I also got back to like one of my favorite books. I was listening to the audio because I'm super grateful that, like, if y'all don't know, it's not to plug them, but they could definitely sponsor in the future if they would like to. But man, shout out that Spotify premium account, because I was not aware until this year, but I've been telling my friends, like, Spotify premium has just majority of the library of audiobooks that I'll be like looking for and wanting to read. And I've just literally spent hundreds of dollars on books just in the past year, because that's just where I've been at. Like, I was just extremely excited and very ambitious about my desire to learn more, in my pursuit of knowledge and growth and self-improvement. So yeah, I've got a lot of physical books, and I find that helps me to really, have the energy and like look at something and read it. But as I've got more into my subconscious mind and the subliminal, it's like, oh wow, like listening to this audio, especially when I'm just going about my day, going throughout my routine, is very, very helpful. So one of the books that I love is from the Secret series. It's actually called The Magic, and it was the first one I bought from that series. I believe I have that one along with The Power. And it's interesting because, well, I'll say this, The Power is about, for what I've learned and what I've read, The Power is really all about the self, and really the self-love and self-respect specifically. But I think, like, in that act of loving self, that is how you embody and retain power, right? So that's what I've seen, like, on the surface. Okay, that's the overview of this book. The Magic, however, like, in me, just being a person who naturally just alchemizes and gravitates towards magic, it's just always been in my personality, that arcane wizard, like, that's always the stuff that I've gravitated towards, from like video games like Skyrim and just whatever, any type of game. I'm a magician, alchemist. It's funny that when I did start reading this book first, because I bought it last year, and they show very like quickly and very thoroughly that the magic is about having and cultivating gratitude. And it's just like, wow, even as I was listening to just the opening statements today from this book, I love that the author, she says something like, most of us, and I think she says including like herself, she's like, I've always thought and felt like I was a grateful person. But when you really look at what it means to cultivate gratitude, and just with that polarity and law of attraction, right, how you get what you put out, you are what you attract, that type of thing. You reap what you sow, so on and so forth. Like, that's what you receive. the state of being that you embody and commit to. And so much of my manifestation journey has been that. And I feel like, I mean, it's really a part of all of our journey, because it's universal law. Like, this is, you know, like physics, it's quantum physics, and just the world that we live in. And I just like, wow, this, as I've matured too, because I didn't quite comprehend a lot of the statement at first, the first times I heard it. And you know, I'm still learning and getting a deeper understanding of everything, because it's all just information. But to me, it makes so much more sense, and I resonate with it so much more deeply, even on the thought of like attracts like. And I've been thinking about, even when we think about relationship standpoints, right? Tomorrow is going to be Valentine's Day, and this could be romantic, but just any type of relationship, business, professional, you know, peer level relationships. I'm seeing, right, being in a new place and new environment, I've like completely changed myself. And so the type of person that I attract now, and the type of people who actually are drawn to me or want to be around me, are different. And I think early on in my journey, earlier, not even long ago though, just in the past year to 6 months, whatever, 5 6 months, I've been grieving so much about, I mean, for one, you know, I'll probably get more into this even in another video, but the family that I have who aren't here physically, you know, my sister and my uncle. My uncle passed last year. My oldest sister, who was one of the first people who loved and cared for me, passed a little over 2 years ago now. That was a whole process for me, like grieving, even, and I was still in my hometown of Buffalo, and people around me couldn't quite understand or understand it because they'd never experienced what I was experiencing. You know, fortunately, but a lot of people haven't always gotten to that point, and even if they do, they still might not relate. Everyone handles grief differently. But what I'm saying is that also at some point in life, whether or not, like, either it's gonna be us first, like, you know, we're the person who exits everyone else's life, or, you know, we're just gonna naturally start to no longer have people in our life that maybe we once cared about. And I feel like that's just natural with age and maturity and growth. And I'm seeing this like at 27 years old, right? I also had a couple friends who were 26 last year, like when I was 26, and they both passed as well at that age. So like didn't even make it to 27. So I'm just like, wow, completely shifted my perspective on life. And I think for this reason, I was definitely grieving, but it allowed me to, in the end process, right, in the final stages, and it's, I mean, nothing is final, but you know what I'm saying, like for me to be where I am now and to resonate how I do, I see how, I don't know why, I'm just thinking in my mind's eyes, like a sword, you know, when you like, you're like steel or iron making, like when somebody's welding or you know, like blacksmith, like they're creating metal, they're burning or soldering or whatever, working with metal. It's like there comes that final stage where you're like kind of cooling and like finishing the metal, and it's kind of molding and taking shape. For me, that's where I'm more at with my place of gratitude, because I was able to take, you know, the fire and the trial of grief, and I was able to transmute, like literally that's the alchemy, change the chemical properties and the composition of what I had and what I was given, and I was able to refine it to something that's extremely valuable now, right? It's more durable, it's more potent, and it can be used to my advantage, right? Just like any weapon or any resource can. So for that reason, I'm extremely grateful to be able to transmute and alchemize the grief that I've endured, And now, like, having that gratitude just lets me know how important my path, my journey, my life is, to be able to share it with you guys, because I know it's plenty of people who have experienced grief. And now it is my expectation that this will reach more people, and we can continue to build a community and relate to one another. But I think that's just my thing of, like, now me being this new person, I have so much even more empathy for people, especially who have suffered in a way, because I've always felt very much empathic, but it's like, man, going through what I've gone through, it's just like, wow, we should really have more compassion for each other. And even when I felt like I didn't receive a lot of compassion for people, like, now I know what that's like. So I'm like, oh yeah, like, I would never want to take another person's suffering lightly, because I think a lot of times it changes you, it changes people. It's definitely changed me, to say the least. And so being able to see now that I've become this person, now that I'm more grateful, my responses, how I show up is different. I do have, my boundaries are different for sure. But I mean, not even but, and that's a great thing. And now I was grieving also the sadness of, like, wow, I'm not gonna be around these people, or these people I once cared about, and I have to let them go, and they have their own life and their own journey. But it's like, in doing so, you really do make the quantum space for other people, for new experiences. And it's just like, if I was still holding on to those old people, places, or things, I would not be able to experience what I'm experiencing now and go to a new life and new reality. And I feel like that's what happens for so many people. We just get so attached to not even the present moment, really past moments, right? Things that already happened, and we don't allow the present to take place. And so for me, just staying, like, appreciating stillness today, even, that's what I'm saying, even as I'm recovering, I feel like it really is, I mean, my body's way of telling me, because I'm like, this has been going on for like 2-3 weeks, and I've just been working every night, but I'm still fighting. I'm like in the gym all the time, and it's one thing of, like, man, I feel alive. That's what I told the guys at the gym, like the coaches. I'm like, I do this because it helps remind me that I'm alive. Like, when I'm fighting Muay Thai, like, it really allows me to feel and reassure myself that I am living. And it's the adrenaline and all that, but I do love the sport of it, the competition, sparring people. We're gonna spar again today, and a lot of people get different emotions and feelings, but, like, that's life, man. Life is all full of different emotions and feelings. And even as I've seen how much I've grown with my emotional intelligence, that's also made me that much greater fighter, because I know how to read and react. I've always been the type of person to not panic in high intensity or high pressure situations. So going through all that, it's really just intensified and become more of my strong suit. And that's magic in itself. But also, just like the book, cultivating gratitude, like, upon that, it's nothing like it, man, because it just makes everything so much more, how do I put it, more worthwhile, and just more valuable, because you get to put it into perspective. You get to think, like, wow, not coming from a place of lack, but, like, there are plenty of people who don't have the blessings or get to experience what I've experienced, or just the fact that I wasn't experiencing this not too long ago. I'm in a like a more productive space, or I don't want to say like better gym, but, like, hey, I'm growing and I'm getting better, and, like, I've been evolving as a person. And again, everybody doesn't make it to that point, because I know people who haven't. You feel me? So that's the type of thing where I'm like, yo, just gratitude and being able to use my gifts to communicate, and that people even care to see the value. Because again, like, as I show up, I've detached so much, like, just with my energy, and I don't even look to form unnecessary connections, so to speak. But even though nothing is, I don't think, well, some things are probably unnecessary, but it all happens for a reason to me, if you get what I'm saying. So I don't look to expend more energy than I need to, but I'm just seeing how, again, the like attracts like, and the magnetism, and as I, put in and embody love for myself, I receive that love from other people. So there's people who do just see me, look at me, and just approach me just because I'm diligent and loving and caring for myself. And so that does mean the world, and it shows that my efforts are worthwhile, and I'm going to continue to grow in that way. And still embodying, like, showing my character, my integrity. They still, like, wear it on the sleeve. It's like, look, I'm wearing it all over, man. We just outside with it. So yeah, no matter what, even in these moments where I'm like clearing my throat and whatnot, my sinuses to speak to y'all, but I'm doing it because I'm grateful, and I appreciate the fact. And I had this beautiful sunset. I just got to film video that's like that's about to be a new, like, kink for me or something. I'm filming videos in the sunset, man, so y'all get to see me with that golden hour glow till it comes down. I mean, right now it's the winter, so we'll have more sun soon. But yeah, even that, just appreciating nature and God's creation, and being able to soak everything up, so to speak. So yeah, I just wanted to take this time today, man, to really sit still, because it's so easy to run from that, to run from the feeling of stillness and embodying, because I feel like that's what it takes to truly be present. We have to sit and feel and process things and allow it to come up without being scared or living in fear. And that's a lot of what I've been doing, because there's plenty of uncomfortable things, even just when I can think about the current reality. But realizing that the more that I focus on the negative, that's what I'm attracting in my life. And the more that I focus on the positive, that's what I'm attracting in my life. So I know what I want to do, and the outcome that I'm looking to manifest and create with. And that's just, it can seem easier said than done, but I think it is about trusting. Because I'm not even going to say trust me, but, like, trust God's design, and trust the universal alignment of, like, it's all going to happen how it's meant to. And I think the more that we surrender and we can relinquish ourselves and our ego from the place of defense, because even though we're all searching for safety, I think the more that we can relinquish that to the power that's higher than us, I think the more that allows the room and the space for God to show up in a divine way in each one of our lives. So yeah, now I'm getting, like, super spiritual, and I think it's some of the points where it's like, yo, when you're just fighting I'm just pushing through, but it's just taking me into that deeper place. And I think I really do, like, I don't know, just I think this, but, like, also I've read, and when you hear so many, like, parables, if you think about from a biblical stance in the Bible, and there's just so many stories when they're saying, like, how God humbles people. And it's like, a lot of times when we have our full power or full health, right, we take so many things for granted. And it's unfortunate at times, but it's just such human nature that it takes us getting to our lowest points to really, really begin to embody gratitude, like we have no choice, like dang, let me just be happy today and be content. So I want to encourage y'all to do the same. Godspell, it's out now. If you want to tap in with my project, as I go by artist named Edo Langston. This is a beautiful manifestation of me transmuting my grief, the pain that I suffer from, suffer from just letting go and feeling like that the loss of family and people and highs and lows and trials, and also just my journey with self. And I would actually say it's a very high vibrational project. It's a studio project, so I invested my own money, recorded in the studio. I mixed and mastered it myself as well. Got some features for some amazing artists on there. So shout out everybody involved. You know, Corinne Renee, Aki, it's my bro Sal, and Queen Mother. Shout out Devereaux, the producer. And yeah, that's all I wanted. But if y'all want to listen to it, it's on my website. But I really recommend it. Is equity-based project, right? So the money to access this project is actually going back to the artists. I'm giving them some equity for the time being into the project. So yeah, if you support it, it's actually going to be supporting those artists. I will be paying them with proceeds. And I also have an option. Shout out to great LaRussell, man. Grateful for this brother, because he's been inspiring me for some years now. And I got to see him in Atlanta earlier this year, right before he did the Super Bowl. And I even told him, like, yeah, you know, my project is going to be offer-based too. So I'm allowing people to submit offers. So if you go on my store, you'll be able to see at the bottom. It's very small. I might have to, like, make it more evident so it stands out. But you can submit an offer if you want to, you know, bid your own price on the project. But that's all I have for y'all, man. Ekanamiko.univer.se, universe. I'll leave it below. Thank y'all for tapping in, like, subscribe, all that great stuff. That's the first time I said that, but thank y'all for doing what y'all done, man. I appreciate you. I'm grateful that you showed up today. And let's keep it going, man. Peace.